Hello again, everyone. My name's Mark Walmsley, and I am the founder of the Arts and Culture Network. We're a growing global community of over 185,000 now, all over the world, right across the arts, from architecture to zither playing. I don't get to meet everyone, as you can imagine, but when I do, it's a delight. And Ilaria has joined me today. We're going to record a quick interview. Ilaria is one of our full members, for which many, many thanks. We're
Thank
entirely
you.
member funded as a community, so we don't have any sponsors, advertisers, or grant making bodies telling us what to do, which is how we remain independent. So, Ilaria, thank you so much for joining me to do this today.
Thank you so much. And hi, everyone.
So, where are you based? Let's start with the basics.
So I'm currently based in north of Italy, which is a small town called Udine, but I mainly work all over Italy because I'm currently working in a medical conference team. So we are almost every month in Rome, Florence, all around Italy.
And your interest in art. Um, Tell us
Yeah.
about that, the work that you do, because you're a curator as well, aren't you?
Yes, so I'm currently working for a conference firm that plans mainly medical conferences, but I actually have a background in arts and I want to go back into that field. I have a BA and a master's degree in philosophy first, and then I got a master's degree in arts at the University of Edinburgh. And then I work in art galleries in Venice. I also founded a small art foundation, and I work in a few art galleries in London. And now I have a background in art and curating, but also I'm currently working as a project manager. So my intention is to go back to the arts field or the cultural field in general. But I have it's a mix. Project managing, arts, curating, um, clientele managing. So it's a bit of a mix. Yeah.
Okay. And is it modern art where your interest sits, or Renaissance, or old
Well,
masters?
Well, I worked in the old master's field, but at the same time, I have to say, before doing my master's degree in Edinburgh, I worked in an art foundation in Venice, which works kind of like the Venice Biennale, which means that it's lots of contemporary art. The small foundation that I founded, had to manage a lot of contemporary artists, or it was like a um, symposium of contemporary art. So it's a bit of a mix. I have to say, I have a lot of passion for old masters, but also for modern art. Contemporary art, I like it, but I think it's more the the connection that contemporary art has with other mm, fields that I like more than contemporary art itself. I
Hmm.
have to say. Yeah.
So if you could acquire an old master
Yeah.
painting,
Yeah.
one only,
Oh, that would be
um,
hard.
what would you choose?
Oh God. Oh God, that would be hard.
Hmm.
Okay, so I have to say I'm in love with Caravaggio for sure. So if I
Um,
had to, I would get a Caravaggio. But
okay.
if I could get a second one, if there was
Yeah.
an option, um, I would get one by uh I think Ingres. It's a French painter, and
How do you spell that?
it's Ingres. They come from different backgrounds, different techniques, different countries, different period of time. It's completely different. The fact is, Caravaggio plays with light and dark, but I love the details that Ankh puts in the portraits.
Fantastic. I'm
Yeah,
sure people watching will recognize the
yeah,
Caravaggios, but let's just show, if I may, just quickly, because you have to choose one of these one of these.
yeah.
Which one would you
Oh
go
no, no,
for?
no, for sure. No, I already know. the one that it's there, like I don't know, like in English it's Judith Olofern, I think. In Italian it's Giuditta Oloferne. It's the one that she cuts the head, like that one that it's on the screen.
Oh, okay. Judith,
Just
is it?
because not the image of the head itself, as much as if you zoom on the girl's face,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And also the small detail of the pearl, like the earring pearl,
Yeah.
amazing. It's I love it.
It's shocking in its content, isn't it? I
No,
mean,
I know, I know. In fact, when Caravaggio painted it, especially not only this one, but other like the Goliath face, and not in this painting, but other paintings, it was really like it was really like um
wow.
not considered like the normality, because all the expression, the blood, it wasn't normal at all, especially for those paintings, because most
Yeah.
of Caravaggio's paintings, or not almost, but many Caravaggio's paintings are actually in churches. So
Yeah.
can you in Catholic churches? So not this one, just saying.
Mm.
But I honestly I love I actually don't even look at the man's face as much as the woman's face,
Yeah,
because
I get
she's
it.
yeah, I like the reactions.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so that's it. That's good. We know that you're a Caravaggio fan.
Yeah.
Now, that's given me some inspiration for what we're going to do next. It's
Yeah.
going to be your fantasy cultural year. I'm going to take
Okay.
you on a wonderful year of exploration and discovery and research. In order to do this, I need to place you somewhere in the world.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that by asking you, what's your favorite building?
Okay. So I have to admit that, and I apologize for all the Italian listening, but it's not an Italian building or space. It's actually a French space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I apologize.
Especially
Well,
after
actually,
the
no, no,
rugby.
there are
Yeah.
two. I have to say two. One is
Hmm.
English, one is French. The one is Le Musée d'Orsay, the Museum d'Orsay in Paris. Just because when I lived in Paris, I honestly went there 100 times, and I didn't get like I wasn't tired of going there. I loved it every time. And it
Yeah.
has so many paintings and so many beautiful paintings. And if you go to the last um, to the like the top floor, you can see those Renoir's paintings. They're amazing, and I love
Mm,
it, honestly. And the
fantastic.
second one, which I still love as much as Musée d'Orsay, is the National Gallery, I have to say, in London. Yeah,
There we go.
I really love it.
Yeah, I was there recently. It's wonderful.
Oh, I
It
love
was
it.
tipping down with rain, but there was still a queue to get in, you know.
No, I love it.
Which
Especially
of
because
those, which of those are we going to go for?
I have to say, I apologize to the French, but I have to say the National Gallery, just because
Okay.
honestly, I also love UK. So I love France too, don't get me wrong. It just um
No,
there's
you have
something
to choose
about
somewhere. That's perfect.
yeah,
So I'd like you to
yeah.
imagine that you're sitting at a pavement cafe in Trafalgar Square within sight
Oh
of the
yeah.
National Gallery. It's 6 p.m. on a June evening. It's warm and sunny, and there is a drink on the table next to you. What would we find there?
The drink,
Hmm.
I have to say a glass of wine. I know I should have said a pint of beer, a pint of beer, but like I'm sorry, I'm still
Yeah.
Italian at the end of the day.
A nice crisp white wine.
No, red.
A red. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Now
We
there's
produce
a
a lot of wine in my region, so we produce lots of red wine. I really like it.
nice. Now there is a book on the table next to you.
Yeah.
It could be your favorite book, a book from childhood, a recent discovery, or a book that's been with you all your life. What book would I find there?
Oh God, there are more than one. Um, hmm, that's really hard, actually. Um, okay, I read it and it took me a long time because all together are 7 books. But like, if I ever had the time or the will to start again, um, The Research of Lost Time by Marcel Proust, de la Recherche.
Oh.
Yeah, I took me a lot of time because when you read it, you have to understand it. Like it's not just reading, relaxing, not
Mm,
thinking about what it's written there, but like you have to really get it.
mm.
But I honestly think that me and Marcel Proust could have been friends.
Okay, that's
Honestly,
great. Love it.
yeah.
And you've got some headphones on and you're listening to some music. What's playing?
Mm. Currently, Mumford and Sons, but
Little Lion
I have
Man.
to say, big fan of Florence and the Machine.
Love it. Florence
I
and the
went to 2
Machine.
concerts of Florence and the Machine, loved it,
Fantastic.
honestly.
Love that. That's
Yeah,
great. I love it. Okay, so you're feeling quite pleased with yourself, okay, because you've just come from a meeting inside the National Gallery with a wealthy London-based family foundation who support arts education for children,
yeah,
okay? They'd like to hire you for a year
yeah,
at great expense. The fee is large, okay? They would like you to travel the world and tell the stories behind the great masters to
yeah,
children in different areas of the world, okay,
yeah,
to make art and especially great art like that more accessible to children. A TV crew will follow you. There's a book deal in it. There is a TED Talk when you get back. There is a global university lecture tour as well when you get back. And you become the go-to commentator for accessible art for children. You do the TV rounds, you'll do the sofa on morning television about
yeah.
what you learned, and um, it's all perfectly organized. Okay, does that sound like fun?
Oh my God, it would be the dream, especially because honestly, like if tomorrow you're calling me and be like, Ilaria, can you do it? Yes, for sure. No worries. I already packed. It's not a problem. It would be the dream because here's the thing. What I really, really, really love is connecting with people and not just connecting like, I don't know, like doing small talks, but like getting to know people and trying to share something.
Mm,
So sharing what I love and making people understand or like trying to translate art into language,
mm,
it would be the dream. And also like what really another thing that I really love is connecting with other cultures. That's why I've lived in Paris, I live in London, I lived in Edinburgh. I'm currently studying because I speak French and English, but I'm currently studying Spanish. I've studied for many years German because my region is close to Austria. So connecting with other culture enriches me so much. It's not, I cannot even put it into words how
mm.
amazing it is. So it would be the dream, honestly. If I'm getting a call from you tomorrow, that would be yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so all you need to do is decide where you're going to start. You can go to anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
and it's first class all the way.
First, like the okay, so if I were in London, I would have to start in London for sure. And then well, we can start it's like a music tour. Like we can start in Europe and then we can go abroad. So
Mhm.
the US, Canada,
Where's your first
South
stop?
America.
Where's your first stop?
I think it needs to be New York.
New York. Okay, you're on the plane, okay, from
Yeah.
London to New York. You turned left when you got on the plane because you're traveling first class. And
Okay.
the steward brings you a really nice glass of red wine
Yeah.
and a note from the Family Foundation. They have a
Yeah.
fun musical challenge for you. They want you to listen only to one very specific genre of music for 12
Yeah.
months
For
to the
12 months.
exclusion of all else, to see if you can do that. What genre or type of music would you choose?
For an entire year.
Hmm.
Ah, God. Okay, I'm gonna say something that you wouldn't expect.
Good.
So be prepared. I think I would go with country music.
Way! I'm a huge country fan.
Yeah, you know why? Because uh it can be sad, but it can be fun. So I cannot listen only to sad music or fun music. So I need something that it's yeah, I
Okay.
think I would go
Are
there.
there
I would
any specific artists or bands that would be in your playlist?
as a country music, like a singer or
Hmm.
but for sure Dolly Parton. Like
Absolutely. Dolly.
like she's the best of all
Yeah.
time.
Apparently,
Uh
she wrote 9 to 5 and Jolene on the same day.
oh my God, she's honestly she's a genius.
Yeah,
How can you not love Dolly Parton?
I
Like
know. Brilliant.
there doesn't make any sense. That would be for sure. Rascal Flatts.
Yeah,
Uh, mm, mm. So I actually have a country playlist in my
yeah.
phone. I'm thinking about what do I have.
I think Luke Combs would be on mine.
Oh yeah. Also Chris Stapleton.
Yes, Chris
Yeah.
Stapleton. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's enough. That's good.
Yeah.
That'll keep you going. Now,
For sure.
now you arrive in New York, and a group of young art teachers welcome you at the airport. They whisk you into Manhattan. You've got a beautiful apartment overlooking Central Park that's all paid for. They say, right, relax and make yourself comfortable. We're coming back to take you out to a dance performance, and then we're going to dinner. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is where the magic wand and the time machine comes in.
Okay.
We can travel in time and I can perform magic. So I can put on that stage in front of you any
Yeah.
dance performance. It could
Okay.
be any style, any dance group, any dancers, male, living or not.
Okay.
We can go back in time. So if you could have any dance performance in front of you, what would you choose?
I would go with the ballet. I have to think which huh. I actually have never seen. I wanted to see it, but then COVID hit, so I couldn't go to the theater
Mhm.
to see it. I wanted to see the Swan Lake.
Swan Lake, the original, or the Matthew Bourne one?
No, the original.
Original, because Matthew
Yeah.
Bourne did it with just male dancers.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
I want the original. I'm really traditional in like considering ballet. I
Mm.
actually I love opera too, and there is this opera by Verdi, Giuseppe Verdi. Uh, and every year, in almost every theater in Italy, you can see it. But they try to do it like a modernized version.
And you didn't like it.
No, I love the music, but no, not
I'm with you.
the
I'm with you.
performance. Sorry.
I'm the same with Shakespeare as well, I'm afraid.
Like,
Um,
no.
okay, that's great. Now we're going out to dinner after the show.
Yeah.
You get to choose the national cuisine.
Hmm. Actually, I'm really relaxed about that because I love trying new things. So I would say, honestly, if you know a place, let's go where you
You're,
suggest. I love lots of cuisines and I'm really open to try new things. So I'm Italian. Of course, I love Italian cuisine, but like, why would I go to New York just to try an Italian
mm,
restaurant if I'm Italian and I eat Italian every day when I'm here or like when I'm home? So I wouldn't I wouldn't go for Italian. I'm open to new things. I have to say I love Thai food a lot.
okay.
Um, but if you suggested something else because you knew the
Well, there's a
restaurant, you
new,
would say,
in our fantasy world, there
yeah,
is a new Thai-Italian fusion
that's
restaurant.
right.
Let's try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now we're going to travel again. Where are we going? You can go anywhere you like from New York.
So from New York, I would go. I always wanted to, okay, it would be working slash pleasure because I always wanted to visit Boston. So I think I would go to Boston first after New
Okay.
York.
We're in Boston and it's sport day.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. We've just had the Winter Olympics.
Okay.
Italy did very well, both hosting and play and performing. There is sport that constitutes performance art. The ice dancing, the
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah.
break dancing in the Olympics in Paris. So some sport is considered performance art. If I could put any sport in front of you for 2 hours, what would you choose?
Ice skating for sure.
Ice skating.
Like the ice dancers.
Yeah,
I love it. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I was moved by that. I don't know if you saw any of the girls ice dancing. It was just incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly. I love it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
honestly love it. And when I was a kid, I used to first skate with a classic skate. And then I used to go ice skating. I'm not good at all. I tried when I was a kid. So probably if I went there now, I wouldn't even be able to stand. But it's really nice.
Ice skating it is. Now we're going to buzz again from Boston.
Okay, so
Where are
we
we
are
going?
going probably, well, we have to finish the US tour for sure. I think I would have to go, well, to be fair, Boston, Miami, just because it's in the same coast. It's
Yeah.
on the same coast. And then I'll go to the West Coast for sure.
Let's go to Miami then. Now
Yeah,
in Miami there is um a new digitally enhanced art gallery,
yeah,
and you can put on virtual reality glasses
yeah,
and step into the work of a famous artist.
yes,
You can walk around in the picture. It's in 3D, it's
yeah,
360 degrees. There might be animation, there might be sound. You will get to see in 3 dimensions what the artist could only show us in two. I
yeah.
think I might know where this is going, but whose work would you like to step into?
Probably Renoir.
Renoir.
Yeah,
Wow.
because there are two paintings at the top floor of Musée d'Orsay, and there's
Hmm.
like those two paintings. There are two different couples, one couple for each painting, and they're dancing.
I
But you
think
want to
that's
see more of the dance, and you want to see more of their faces because they are partially covered because it's the main.
there we go.
Yes, you can see one at the top right. Oh yes, no wait, there are both of them. Like if you close to that one,
Hmm. This one?
there you can see both. You can see Musée d'Orsay, My French Quest. Yes, that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It,
Yeah, you get to
the,
dance. You get to dance in that
yeah,
room. There we go. I love that.
yeah. I mean, they are in two different places, but let's say because it's magic, I can
Mm.
be in both, and they're in the same place. Yeah,
So we also do Los Angeles and San Francisco.
yeah,
And now I'm going to fly you back to London because you and I are going out together every night of the week to do something
yeah.
cultural in London. Okay.
Okay,
Monday is we're going to, and this is where the time machine and the magic wand come in.
okay,
We're going to go back in time to a concert
okay.
of your choice.
Oh, that would be. I think it would be a concert by Fleetwood Mac.
Did you see Fleetwood Mac live?
No, I've
Oh,
never. Like I'm like I would love
oh,
to
the
go back
fantasy
in
one.
time.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go back.
go back in
Okay.
time.
And see Fleetwood Mac live.
Yeah,
Stevie Nicks, the
yeah,
whole the whole bit.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great
yeah, yeah, yeah,
choice.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
think I would. Yeah,
Now on
big fan.
Tuesday we're going to the theatre.
Mm.
We have the Globe Theatre in London, obviously, so we could
Oh,
see some Shakespeare.
mm.
Is there a theatre play that you'd really like to see?
Oh God. I think Hamlet. I
Hamlet.
think I'm gonna go for with that. Yeah,
Hamlet at the Globe,
yeah. I
standing up
think.
by the stage, and the stage is that high, and we're looking up.
Yeah, I think. Yes.
Now on Wednesday we're going to the West End for a musical.
Okay.
What would you like to see?
Hmm. I have to say I've never seen The Lion King, so
Wow, never seen The Lion
no,
King. Oh,
no.
I've got friends in the performance in London, so we'll get to go backstage and try on the costumes as well.
Okay.
Lion King.
I've
Fantastic.
never seen it. Yeah.
Really good. Thursday is opera
Okay.
at the Opera House, the Royal Opera House.
Hmm.
We could do the Verdi, but
No, I've
okay.
already watched. I've been here. It's an Italian thing. Also, to get the full experience of the Verdi, you have to go to the arena, the Verona Arena,
Mm,
to get the full experience. So it wouldn't be it.
okay. What would you like to see then?
Uh, La Boheme, probably.
Nice. Yeah. La
Yeah.
Boheme with Pavarotti. We'll go back in time and it's
Yes. Yes.
La
Let's go.
Boheme
Let's do that. Yes.
Pavarotti. Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. And then
Yes.
Friday, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. Friday is movie night.
Mm.
We've got the best seats in the house, wonderful uh, wraparound sound and big screen.
God.
What are we watching?
That's really hard. Mm. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with a Barbara Streisand movie, like a classic,
Hmm.
probably The Way We Were.
Okay. I think we'll watch
Yeah.
two. We'll have Yentl as well.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. I love
Yes. Oh
that
my
piece
God,
of
I love
sky.
it. Yes.
That piece that the end of a piece of sky when they're on the when she's on the ferry.
Yes. No,
It's
she's
in,
amazing,
yeah.
honestly.
We sing that in the car with my. I used to sing that in the car with my children to see who could hold the last note the longest.
Oh my God, yes. Also, the song, I'm really a bad singer, so I'm not gonna like, but I don't wanna. But when she or he all says, "Papa,
Mm,
can you hear me?" It's amazing.
I know it's
Yeah.
wonderful as well. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now we're nearly there, Ilaria,
Yeah.
and I'm going to send you off on your the rest of this trip, and you get all those wonderful things. The TV show is a success. The book is a set bestseller. The TED Talk is looming. But I'm going to give you one more lunch in an Italian Thai fusion restaurant in London.
Okay.
It's called the Hero Lunch. You
Okay.
can invite one person.
Yeah.
They will come,
Yeah.
and you can invite anyone you like, living or not.
Just one?
One person, yes,
Oh God.
from
Uh,
history or anyone.
okay. So because I've said that his book is one of my favorites, if not the favorite, and I want to have a conversation with him, I think I'm going to invite Marcel Proust. But
Great.
let's say, just for fun, because it's magic, I could invite a second one. I think I would
Hmm.
invite Philip Roth. You know, the writer
Yeah,
that he
Philip.
died a few years ago, so it's not.
Yeah,
It could have been.
that would be a
Uh,
wonderful lunch.
oh my God, I would be so interested.
Okay, in a
Yeah,
slight twist to that question,
yeah.
who would Marcel Proust invite?
Oh, that would be art. Because if can you invite only people from his age, like from his period of time, or from?
Before?
Hmm. Well, in that period of time, I think it would be it was interested more like in fashion and like the people with titles. Like you have to consider
Mm.
that French period, like almost. Yeah, I think he probably would invite someone like a famous actress from the theater or like a famous producer.
Yeah.
But if I could choose for him, I don't be like, listen to me, we're gonna invite. Don't worry about it. I think okay, I don't think you would like him, but I would say honestly, it's a great friend. I think you would love him, and then you would be like, Ilaria, what did you do? JD Salinger.
Mm.
But I think he would say, I don't think they would be friends. Honestly, it would be like, oh my God, why would you invite him? And I'll be like, oh, I don't know. I thought he would be friends.
But that
Yeah.
would be a great lunch to sit in on. There we
Yeah.
go. Ilaria, that's your fantasy cultural year kicked off. You do all of those wonderful things, and you come back, and the book is a great success, and etc. Have you enjoyed your fantasy cultural year?
I loved it. Please, let's do it
Fantastic.
in real life. Yes. Yes.
So thank you again for being such a good sport. That was great fun. It's a lovely way to pull out preferences.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't have you down as a country music fan, but I love the fact that you are. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I'm
and
not an expert, but I love
no, but that's great. Well, do they say three chords and a broken heart, and you're there.
it.
Thank you so much again for being one of our full members. It's very much appreciated. Wherever this appears, there'll be a profile about you. We'll go on YouTube, SoundCloud, on our Spotify video podcast, and LinkedIn, of course. And so wherever this appears, there'll be links to you and the work you do and contact details. So if you're watching and you'd like to meet Ilaria, please look further down for the contact details. But for the time being, Ilaria, thank you so much again for being
Thank you.
such a good sport. That was great fun.